Hello, this is National Chess Master R. Rats, continuing my video series on the team match between my video lessons group at chess.com versus CARPE DIEM. This was played on board 197 out of 210. We have a 1500 rating versus about 1200 rating. And both games ended quick. I can't tell who's the one guilty of moving quick here. But as we'll see, I think while White had tremendous chances in this, I do believe Black misplayed the opening. I'm not sure what book says here, but if you're not sure what book is, you can usually follow common sense, which I point out in video lesson 1. I think everybody's watched that, right? If you're not sure what to do in the opening, develop a piece. That will usually do the trick. Let's see first what Black does. Black breaks one of the rules I talk about often. Don't make exchanges that improve the position of your opponent's pieces. Let him do that for you. See, in effect, Black has just moved these two knights up to those squares. From c3, they control 4 squares on the 4th rank. Now they're controlling a different 4 squares on the 4th rank plus 4 on the 5th rank. Let's color them in. As long as the thing cooperates. There we go. 2 of them. 1 of them, actually. Come on. I wish this thing would just work every time like it's supposed to. See, I'm right-clicking, and it's not doing it. It's doing something. I got 2 out of 6, 2 out of 4. Come on. There we go. Look at those squares those knights control. That means that's a lot of pressure. And if they're back on c3 and f3, they would control the normal squares that we know knights can control, e5, d5, g5, and b5. We're used to that because it often happens almost every game we play, either with White or Black. We're going to run into it, controlling them or having them controlled against you. Now, there, came back, it was lagging. But why make exchanges that improve your opponent's pieces? Let's look at what he could have done. Okay, and I don't know book. I always say, if you're not sure what to do, develop a piece. Okay, this secures d5. Now, if any time he plays e5, you're in a normal type French position. If bishop g5, just to develop another piece, bishop e7. What's the worst he can do? Well, he can try to isolate Black's pawn. But Black can just allow it. Okay, pawn takes, pawn takes. Now this bishop gets out. We might be playing with an isolated queen pawn, but we don't mind. Look, that's developing the Black pieces. See? Well, come on, make the move. Why did it take it back? They need to get version 3 out. This version 2 is going downhill fast. It keeps taking moves back after I'm playing them. Black's totally fine here. Freedom for his pieces. No, what's White going to do? Bishop g5. Pin threats. You know, we can just ignore it. Just ignore. Look at, there it goes. Connection interrupted. Let him have the pawn. Heck, you know, we developed my queen for me. Thank you. Hey, I'm going to go take this. I love Black's position here. Yeah, going to do this? I don't think so. I think you're going to be in trouble. Here's a check. Okay. How are you going to get out of check? Step into a pin. If you play knight e2, I'm going to play queen c7 check and grab this knight. So guess what? You get to put your king on e2. And I have a feeling Black can start finding good moves here with that king exposed as such as he is. We can pin this knight. And, you know, now if knight takes, here comes a very nasty check. You know, I wouldn't want to play White here. Would you? Okay, let's back it up and see what happens. But as I said, he developed the the White knights. And his idea was bishop c5. I think this is wrong too. He's going to get the piece back by a fork, but and White could have played. I think could have played bishop d2, developing a piece. Whoops. Come on, make it right. There we go. Bishop d2. White still loses back his piece, but White's got another piece developed. And now there's discovery threats on the queen. And I think at this point, White's very close to a strategically won game. Just knight b5. Hit that queen again. Where are you going to put it? I'm not sure. You know, c6 is iffy. This check is coming at some point. Queen here with the idea of putting the rook here or castling long and sticking the rook down here. Black's going to miss not having a dark squared bishop here. I think this is close to strategically one game for white. But the way he plays it, it lets Black's crawl back in the game. Let's see, Queen C7. He checked with the bishop. Right square, wrong piece. This helps Black get developed. And it also takes the B5 square away from the knight. So now develops another piece. I mean, this looks good, but Black is catching up in his development. See, now the king's tucked himself to safety. And now the bishop G5 was a mistake because now it has to go back. And Black is working his way out of it. And here it's one of those situations where one just doesn't pay attention in a correspondence game. You look at this and say, well, he's not really threatening pawn takes knight. A6 attacks my knight. But he's not threatening it because I have a pin. So I'll just castle. And suddenly when you get the reply back, you discover a shock. The queen was on it too. And white has just lost a piece, and white decided to give up. So there wasn't too much to that game, but there could have been. Let's look at their other game. And, oops. Try this again. Hit the wrong button. Okay, flip the board. nwuscfdrawmaster is white. And we have one of these Owen defense systems. And this is the point of the Owen defense. You're developing the bishops first and striking at e4. And I don't know all the theory to this, but I do know that I do believe f5 is a very strong move for Black in this position. It's strong in a case where white has not played c4. Let's look at f5 for a second. Okay, you can't take because this move is annoying. And I don't think white gets enough with this check. Okay, I think Black's okay. So how does white handle a move like f5? If you play f3, you do run into some potential weakening of your king side. Okay. This is, now you're not quite on e4, but you could be here. And bring the queen back to f6, pressuring d4. If e5, that opens up this diagonal. I think, I don't know all the lines, but I do believe Black can get some activity here. White doesn't have, Black doesn't have to play take this pawn. Black I guess he should take the pawn. And this way is not correct because there comes here. Now this makes sense because on g3 now you have this and the knight's pinned. So Black has a lot of activity in this line. White's grabbing space with his three center pawns out, but that's one less piece developed, and Black has counterplay with f5. So why didn't Black play this? Well, my suspicion is Black doesn't know the theory and didn't look it up and doesn't realize how to look it up. Chess has changed. The internet has changed chess. I've talked about it in my blog series, and I'm finding more evidence. People do not use books or databases to look up openings. It's painfully obvious because I've been aware of the f5 trick for over 30 years. Well over that. When I was an 1800s player. These are some of the counterplays. This hypermodern approach of controlling the center from afar, pinning these knights. Anyway, what Black does is Black conceivably plays potentially the worst move in the position. Now, any developing move would have been good. Even knight f6, even if you get e5 in, maybe knight e7, c5, trying to strike at the center. What Black does is Black willingly, didn't do that. Black willingly takes this knight. And I've seen this exchange in other games in this event. This is the 40th video. You don't do this unprovoked, okay? You don't. You wait for white to spend a tempo with a3. Then you do it. If you're going to do it, let white spend a tempo. But taking it unprovoked, it destroys a lot of the tricks that you have. Let's see if those tricks still exist. well, F5, you can do it again. Now if F3, let's see, take. Now you can do a trick. See, here it comes. See, there you go. So maybe it's still playable, but in general principle, I don't like taking this unprovoked. Let white spend the tempo, but F5 I think is the move. But white has some resources here. He can play Queen E2. He doesn't have to play F3, and weaken himself to a bunch of checks. But the better move was, well, let's look at F. Did I consider F5 in this position? Let's see. Instead of bishop takes C3, yeah, I did. I think I did. I'm just looking. They save all the notes here to the side. Those were other lines. Let's see. Back this up. Let's see, take. No. I was looking at other moves like knight. I thought knight E7. But F5 is I think the best move here. But some of the magic is gone because you've willingly given this bishop up and not made white lose a tempo with A3. So let's see what happens. And it's interesting how not letting white do that ends up costing black the game in a most unexpected way. So he played knight E7 here, didn't play F5, and white continues his development and immediately accesses that A3 square, the one that I was talking about. And black castles and white castles. And now black gets F5 in, but he got it in too late. So now black needs to take back with his pawn, but he doesn't. He takes with his knight. Whoops, there goes material. So black was just careless again and lost the exchange, or the quality as it's known in Europe. And white just happily trades black down. And black obliges. Okay, let's trade. Okay, got it. Guess I have to trade queens. My rook was loose. And D5. And white puts his rook here, pressuring E6. And black looks at this and says, I'm going to lose in the long run. And black gave up. So there wasn't really too much to either of these games. It took a few weeks to finish this, so somebody was taking their time. Maybe they're playing too many games. I don't check everybody's profile to see how many games they're playing. I mean, some people I know, they're playing hundreds of games. How can you do this? Well, you're going to get a lot of chess, but are you really going to learn anything? You want to concentrate on a few games and really work hard. Look up the openings, analyze the middle games, play openings discover openings that you're comfortable with from the databases and books, and look up the ending as you play it and learn how to play the endings. The ways to succeed. This is what worked for me. What's so hard about that? I mean, I became a chess master by doing exactly those things. Why can't you? Okay, that's what I'm trying to do, share my knowledge to the world. Anyway, that wraps up this video. I still have quite a few to go. I will get them. And just be patient, okay? Thanks so much for your time.